We're here at Ice Bike with Calvin. You might recognise this guy from a much more popular YouTube channel. Thanks for coming on our channel. We've got 3 really techie questions for you I'd love your help with.
3, here we go.
3. The first one is, we deal with time bikes who are famous for using the Data DCR headset system, which is a 51.8. We spoke to Mike from Enduro Bearings about they're going to make a proprietary bearing for that. What are Park Tool doing? Because at the moment you only make a 52mm reamer.
We don't have time for that. Oh, that never gets old. We do make reamers when they're needed, and that is something we'll look into. If there's a demand, we'll do it. Yes, so we have lots of different sizes here. And sometimes they're just proprietary and there's just 2 or 3 brands, but if there's more and more brands needing it, yes, that's something that we can add easily because we are separating the reamer from the facer, so possible.
So for now, would you remount to 52 and put a 52 in there? Or
if it's an aluminum frame, if it's what we call aluminum in America, they're typically thick, yes, you probably could. Your carbon fiber, you talk to time and they're going to flip out.
Okay, I just realised this section is going to send the comment section wild, so let me explain. There are 2 common headset standards going on with this internal cable routing. The most common are the Data DCR system and the FSA ACR system, and they both operate on a 51.8mm external diameter. So if I just measure across here, you'll see it should be 51.8. However, for whatever reason, another really common standard is known as IS52. So this is an IS52 bearing, which measures 52mm. Now, the problem is when you have a precisely made frame like Time, the 52mm won't fit into the headset, whereas the 51.8 one will. Now, my comment to Calvin was about when we have a custom painted frame, we would normally sit around with reaming tools just to take off any paint overspray or any inconsistencies that come out after manufacturing. But they don't make a 51.8mm reamer, they only make a 52. So if we ever do have to do corrective work on a Time, it's got some paint overspray from where it's been custom made, we would normally go and use some blue Dicam and find the high spots and carefully remove that by hand with a piece of sandpaper. It would be really nice if we had the ability to do that much more accurately with a 51.8mm reamer, not just for Time frames, but any bike that comes equipped with a Data DCR or FSA ACR system. So here's the question I know that you have, because you've probably seen us use a bottom bracket reamer to ream off much more than 0.2mm on a bottom bracket. Well, the distinction in my mind is bottom brackets are always designed to be 46 or 41mm, and therefore we're doing corrective work to make it into spec. This would be a modification because this was designed to be a 51.8mm hole, and we're going to try and ream it to 52mm. That, in my mind, would be a modification rather than a correction. Hope that makes more sense. Back to Calvin. Yeah, they would, yeah.
Yep, so don't do that.
Okay, so hopefully we might see a 51.8 soon. It's getting pretty popular. We're getting asking
We're going to carry that home from England all the way to Minnesota.
Like that.
Talk about it.
One more thing, why this is important is because you might remember the conversation that we had with Enduro Bearings about their stainless steel bearings that come with a lifetime warranty. Essentially great if you got all this internal cable routing, but they didn't make a 51.8 and they promised that they would do. They are making those for us. They'll be in stock soon, and as soon as they are, we'll tell you, and it will be on our website available to buy. So keep an eye out for that. So the next one is, we're getting more and more carbon spoked wheels now. And as a bike shop, we're struggling to keep up with that technology. And the TM1 is a tool that every single bike shop the world over has.
Everyone.
So I'd love to know, what's your experience with the TM1 and what are Park developing to help us deal with carbon spokes going forward?
Well, the fun thing about the TM1 is what's called the WTA wheel tension app. So parktool.com /WTA brings you to our chart. Steel is real. Let's talk steel first. We have enough data on steel, we can do a predictive equation. I use what's called the hydraulic equation, that if we know the thickness and thinness of the spoke, because it's steel, which is consistent modulus,
it's predictable,
we can give you the chart. Now let's go to the fancy carbon fiber. Carbon fiber ain't just carbon fiber. There's lots of different weaves, a lot of different threads.
Lots of different modulus.
So there is a unique chart to each one. So what we have to do, that we're in the process of, is running charts for those different carbon ones. But we have to literally get them, run them through the strain gauge with the TM1, develop a chart. So it's something that we keep the TM1 alive by adding data. We keep it fresh. That's what Park Tool does, keeps it fresh.
So when might we see the wheel tension app update to carbon spokes?
Good point. Now you're going to tell me it's a carbon fiber spoke. How thick is it?
We'll say 1mm.
How wide is it?
Let's say 3 point something.
See, that won't really matter because we have to have that exact brand
Yeah, of course.
So there's going to be brand.
Which
So
means that now we need to identify what brand it is.
Yep.
So manufacturers need to start listing it on their spec sheets.
That's exactly right.
Excellent.
Exactly right.
Glad to hear that Park Tool is working on that. And last one, since I've got this opportunity, Calvin, obviously the whole industry is insistent on threading our brake hoses and our e-bike wires through our headsets.
Yes.
What's your experience? What have you learned from this? Is there any
Well, it's
help
learned
you can
that we
give us?
all want to be like Wout van Aert and Jonas Vingegaard and Matthew van der Poel. Oh, they're my favorite.
It looks great.
It does, when somebody else does the work. So we did have a seminar here on iSpec on that, and everyone in the seminar agreed. We hate it and expect the dealers to charging you money for it, and they're going to love it. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. My concern is that people are going to sacrifice their posture on the bike because it's going to be 200 quid for labor just to get rid of my sore back. So there'll be a lot more stretching and going on.
Yeah.
These
And for
people
us
aren't
in-
going to get the right stem.
For us in the workshop, a big thing is about how we speed up that workflow, because bleeding brakes now is just so much more
Right.
common because
Well,
we're having to do it every time we change a headset.
Had you come to the seminar, you would have heard about the Mechanics Flex call to action on all professionals. Get to your vendors, get to the big manufacturers, the Shimano, the KP. Help us get better junction, easier junction. We're trying to retrofit the old system into this new little hole.
Yep.
It's a pain.
Quick release hydraulics would be great, wouldn't they?
Right. Let's have something a little more quick release, something easier to feed that allows for changes. Help the people, help their posture. Let's get people the right fit on the bike. Why sell people all this fancy fit stuff if then you're not going to be changing the stems and doing the right work for them?
So it sounds like your opinion is get your fit right and adjust.
Yeah,
try to minimise the amount of times you need to do it in the first place.
Get it right once and then never grow old.
Until your headset bearings wear out.
That's right.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for your time, Calvin. I really appreciate it.
From iSpike, England, bye.
So I've made it to the Shimano Q stand. Literally, this little suitcase here is all they have of the new drop bar Qs. Now, this is something I'm really excited about because it seems like SRAM and Campagnolo have completely neglected this end of the market, but Shimano have gone really into it. So they now have the flat bar Qs that we saw this time last year at this show, and now they've just announced the drop bar. So you can see the lever is actually based on the familiar 105 shape, and it's still all hydraulic here, but what they've done is they've actually put a little stop here. So this little lever here, we'll be able to pull that out, and this essentially becomes either a 10 speed or an 11 speed. So this little thing here, I've been told not to move it because it's a prototype, but essentially you buy one lever and you've got a 10 speed and you've got an 11 speed, which makes it much easier to upgrade or downgrade your levers. Now, of course, anything that is 10 speed or 11 speed Qs works with anything else that's 10 speed or 11 speed Qs, which means that all of your rear derailleurs are going to work across the road and the gravel and the mountain bike range, which means that you can start running some absolutely gigantic cassettes like this, and you could run little tiny mountain bike chain rings like this, but with a drop bar lever if you really wanted to get into that whole monster cross bike packing vibe. Here is a look at the Road Q's crankset. It's a nice looking bit of kit. It is definitely heavier. There's not a set of scales here. It's definitely heavier than a 105 unit. I would say it's lighter than a Tiagra unit, definitely lighter than Sora, and it looks pretty smart. And I can see that a road crankset would still match with a mountain bike rear derailleur. You can see how you can start mixing and matching this whole product group set. And of course, everything is built around the chain. So the one thing that stays static is that link glide chain. That's compatible across all the cranksets, all the cassettes, all the derailleurs, everything. So there we go. Drop bar Qs and flat bar Qs. You can pretty much design a group set to work however you want it to on whatever type of handlebar you want it to, at actually a really reasonable cost. You don't have to go electric. There's still manual stuff out there. Good work, Shimano, love it. So quickly then, Shimano Qs drop bar, yay or nay?
Yeah, if they can start explaining it better to people how it's going to be simpler. At the moment, it's like it's supposed to be simpler, but all the codes and compatibility is a weird one.
Someone's done an awful job of explaining it.
Yes, and it is simpler because Julian just explained it to me, and I was like, oh yeah, well
that makes perfect sense. Yeah, why don't you just do that on all your advertising?
Exactly. They need somebody. I've said to him, they need somebody to talk to, like, not bike shops, to normal people.
Yeah.
Because you know what it's like getting stuff. You can't just get somebody that's done 20 years.
Yeah, they need to go and explain it to someone in marketing and then get them to regurgitate it back rather than just bike shop speak it to consumers. I think it's actually really, really good. I'm looking forward to it. Do you think SRAM might actually follow suit and do something?
No, because I think Shimano makes most of the money at that level.
Yeah.
And SRAM makes most of the money at the...
The thing I'm most excited about is actually it might actually spell the end of seeing bikes equipped with Apex 1. It might just kill off that whole Sonder generation of bikes equipped with Apex 1 and be like, yes, I just have...
Yeah, so I'm excited. I need to see a bit more of it gravel.
How's business over on the other side of the Pennines?
2025 seems like something good. It's been busy start to the year.
Great to see you, Nick. So enjoy the show. I know we feature loads of really expensive, nice stuff on our channel, but what about when you just want something really solid and reliable for not much cash? Well, over here they actually build a lot of wheels here in the UK on some pretty standard spec components. So a couple of things that have caught my eye. So this is a DT Swiss R470DB rim built onto a Shimano 105 hub, solid option, with I think brass nipples on here as well and a straight gauge spoke. £154.99 for the rear, £124.99 for the front. All built by robots who, to be honest, do a pretty good job of the wheel building. We brought a few of these, never had a problem with them, but they also do some gravel and mountain bike options as well. And you can now get a gravel wheel for the same price. They also do one on the DT Swiss 370 hub, which is going to be a little bit more waterproof and durable than this 105 hub. Not sure that's the best choice for the gravel situation, but this is great, a solid choice for building up a bike. If you want to get into gravel and build yourself something from the ground up, there's some really solid options here before you start getting into the more exotic stuff you're used to seeing on our channel. A lot of these wheels here, we could not even buy the components at this price, let alone then do the wheel build as well. So machines, the way forward apparently in wheel building. This is quite cute. So these guys make all the things you'd ever want to see for commuting cycling. So baskets and racks and all those sort of really useful accessories for urban cycling. I'm laughing right now after just come to the wheels manufacturing stand, a brand I really respect, but I did call you out on a podcast for making what I thought was the most pointless. And he just presented me with Mapdec embossed axle covers. So Dan, explain, why did you make these?
Well, we got wind of your little video, and while we do respect everything you do, and I think you do a great job with our product line. You do a great job with everyone.
Thanks.
We understood where you were coming from, and I figured that, you know something? He deserves to have his very own axle cap. So I did get some green ones because I know that's part of the logo.
That's amazing, thank you.
Grab the logo, thank you for that.
Fancy sense of humor.
And lasers them up for you.
So, I've got no fingernails. How do you get these out?
With long fingernails. I'm with you there. Yeah, it's difficult to do.
Okay.
It's a product that we created, just a little bit of bling for your bike.
Yeah.
Absolutely doesn't have to be used on every bike, but just a little extra if you wanted to. We didn't anodize our through axles completely with any color. All of our axles are hard anodized, so not color anodized. So we figured that because of that, we decided to do the axle cap anodized colors.
That's so cute, thank you.
There you go.
While we've got your attention though, how's things going in bottom bracket world for you guys at the moment?
Bottom bracket world is good.
Yeah.
It's stabilized, so we're very happy with that. But overall, our product fits into a really nice price point for everyone. The standards aren't going anywhere. And we got everything covered.
Hallelujah, no new bottom bracket standards for a while.
That's it, yeah.
Wheels manufacturing, if audience isn't familiar, they're probably the first tier up from the manufacturer's bottom bracket before you get into the really exotic stuff.
That's
You're the
correct.
gap in between.
That's
so you
correct.
get some,
Yeah, we fit into that price point where you want something that's better quality than just a standard replacement bottom bracket with SRAM or Shimano or whoever. That's going to get you a nice little upgrade, got better bearings, better quality overall. Everything's machined.
the chassis was pretty good, and then the bearings are okay, I guess.
And really, all of ours are rebuildable. So the idea is to, if you want to, keep the bottom bracket in the bike,
Yep.
pop the bearings out and put it
Yeah, love that. If you're going to put a thread together in, keep it in the bike, take the bearings out.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, nice one. Thank you so much for this, Dan.
You're
Appreciate
quite
it.
welcome, yeah. You're quite welcome.
That's a wrap for this year. Thanks to Kelvin for the Park Tool sticker. Thanks to Wills Manufacturing. We'll be back here next year at Ice Bike. It's a great little show from one of the major distributors in the UK. I had a great time. Hope you guys enjoyed it too. If you did, thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share it with your friends and get stuck into the comments. Really look forward to hearing what we've got to say. Cheers.
Like and subscribe.